Hello and welcome back to Marketing Tip Tea Time at 2:22. My name is Aaron Zimola and we've upped our game a little bit on Marketing Tip Tea Time, which is awesome. Shout out to Peter Romero, who actually basically got all of this together within like an hour. He did everything. Phil's actually out today, so it was just Peter and I setting up. And today, actually, we have somebody from Color World Books, somebody who I like a lot. His name is Brad Kelly, and he is the Chief Marketing Officer at Color World Books. He helped start it, and he's here. He's actually a Twitter genius. He's actually an Instagram genius. I just found out, social media guru. So, how are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. It's show day today. We go live in probably right at 4. I think we're live. So with any luck, someone will walk into that metal wall behind me and start warming up somebody. It's an exciting day.
That is really exciting. So okay, tell me about the show today, just real quick. Tell me about what's happening.
Danganronpa, Junko Inoshima is the queen of despair, and it's essentially an anime about despair versus hope, and what emotion drives people in a more pure sense, I guess you could say. Like, what's the best motivator?
Okay.
Is it better to move the world forward by fear or by love? Is essentially what it comes down to. And
got it.
We have the two main cast. We three main casts. There's 2 female leads, one on the side of good, on the side of hope, and one on the side of despair.
Okay.
So we have Caitlin Glass and Jamie Markey, and then there's only a male protagonist on the side of hope. There isn't a despair male antagonist, and so Bryce Papenbrook will be on the show. And so
Bryce Papenbrook, I love Bryce.
Bryce
He's great.
Is a spectacular human being. So yeah, we have 6 guests. It launches today. Two public panels, 2 VIP panels. An insane amount of hangouts are about to be done in the next 48 hours. I'm hype. It's been good.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Thanks to you and your help for making that.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, Brad and Color World are one of our clients.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing a lot of different marketing for you, which has been really good.
I made Snapchat.
Yeah. Ooh, Snapchat. Yeah, we're learning about Snapchat currently. So
yeah.
But hey, first, the most important part of the most important part of the show is the tea.
I wasn't gonna leave you hanging with no tea.
Okay, so honesty time, everyone. For the guests we're having on the show, our plan is to eventually mail out tea so we can all be drinking the same thing. I messaged Brad like
a week ago,
and I said, I'm going to mail you tea. And then I got up this morning and said, I didn't mail him any tea.
But thankfully,
Brad has it on lock here. So
yeah, I brought two varieties. My instruction for Aaron was anything with ginger in it.
Okay.
There are 4 ingredients that are essentially medical in nature: ginger, honey, apple cider vinegar,
and
then the 4th one that I can never remember. Local honey, apple cider vinegar, ginger,
turmeric. No, I don't know.
What is the 4th? I'm gonna have to ask Rachel when she gets back. So we at our family we call them a punchy, and it's so like the apple cider vinegar is so much that it's like.
I know. I think Phil drinks apple cider vinegar actually.
Lemon.
Yeah. Oh, lemon.
Lemon is the 4th.
That's awesome.
That's medicinal in nature, and so I love to consume stuff that has one of those.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah. What do you have?
So today I have mine's Bigelow Orange and Spice.
Oh, it's Bigelow.
Yep, I love Bigelow. They're one of my favorites.
That's
caffeine
awesome.
free. So I thought I'd try this one. We just literally have piles of tea sitting in the office that we can just pick from randomly. So yes, I've got
so
that
funny.
Tea. And I always pour live on the show. So I've got this. I've always got. And It's dangerous because I'm literally right under this.
Because you could miss.
So if I
It's
if
boiling
I
hot
miss,
water.
it is. It's boiling water. Yep, straight out of a boiling water tap that we have here at the office. So
Oh, really? It just comes out boiling? You must be in Boiling Springs, Colorado.
pretty much, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, I got a
So
groaner foul from Peter. That's awesome. Thank you, Peter, for laughing at my
yeah. So the audience can't hear.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so awesome.
So basically, yeah, I just poured this. I'm gonna try it. I don't know if you've poured any tea for
You're
yourself
gonna
yet.
drink it hot?
Oh, I just go for it, man.
Oh,
I scold. So I burned my mouth so many times.
you
It just
have to
doesn't.
have. That's insane.
No feeling. No
Um,
feeling. I can
at
just drink straight boiling water.
Oh my gosh. At dinner, I'll like look at it's usually the women are fine. They'll just start eating and then I'm like, "Is that too?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's too hot for you. Just wait." And so like
That's
the
awesome.
women will just eat and then the guys are like sitting there waiting. We're ice cubing it up. Do you ever put ice cubes? No, you just
I just go for it. I just
gosh,
straight.
ice cubes in the soup for me, man.
Wow.
I like the taste
I
bud.
used to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get a little scolding. And so, yeah, I just get a little bit scolding when I'm doing that. So it's good though, because it just builds character, right? Boiling your
Whatever
mouth.
doesn't kill you.
But you know what is I'm a pro at burning my mouth, and you're a
Okay.
pro at Twitter. Um,
I'm not even gonna
so
deflect. I'm just gonna yes.
we're gonna flash your Twitter up actually on. Like that.
That's a fair estimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really that's what we're here to talk to you about is your Twitter and how you do that.
Yeah.
To me, it's mind-boggling because I'm kind of a derp, and I'm the one who manages our social media, and it feels like getting one tweet off a day is a feat.
Oh man.
So just through going through your Twitter, I mean, you're the CMO at Color World Books, and I just realized you're actually managing both accounts. You're managing your personal account and you're managing Color World Books account simultaneously. Um, so I mean, just tell me, how many times do you tweet per day? Like, what do
Oh,
you?
50 to 100 depending on the day.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. And so with that kind of tweeting, I mean, what do you think is so this is you, which is like superhuman power, I guess, to tweet that many times. What would you say to just like a regular business or a person who's trying to manage their social media? What's a good I don't think I mean, honestly, I'm not sure if our viewers can really,
So somebody that's not my competitor,
keep up with that. Right, exactly.
um, if you were my competitor, I would just insult you and tell you that's why I'm going to win and you're going to lose because you don't have. Twitter is the most authentic of all the social medias. So
Okay.
the way that Twitter works is that you are literally talking to yourself until you build a following. Like
Okay.
nobody's listening. Nobody can see your tweets. Nobody can hear you. You could die tomorrow. Nobody cares.
Okay.
And that's what
Yeah.
is spectacular about Twitter is that if you suck at life, if you can't communicate a message, if you you don't have an audience, and
Right.
that's and it's good and it's tough because it's tough to start from scratch, but it's good in that if you find yourself on Twitter, you have access to some of the most unbelievable brands and people, politicians, famous people, athletes, entertainers. You have access to them through Twitter that you have nobody answers their comments on Instagram. You go on
Right.
a famous person's Instagram and see if they comment back to you. Just good luck with that. But on
Right.
Twitter, it's so authentic that you either are kind of on there and jump in and participate or you don't. And so the
Right.
famous people that are on Twitter, if you can add value, and that's how I grew MO Financial. I used to
Okay.
manage money. I was going to be a famous options trader and be on CNBC, and you'll if
Right.
you look through the list, because here's the thing about the MO Financial ratio is important in Twitter, right? If you're following 20,000 people and 2,000 people are following you, you're not adding value to the world. What you
Right.
got is 2,000 of the 20,000 people that you're following were kind enough to follow you back.
Right. That makes sense.
So my ratio on MO Financial is I'm only following 397 people and 3,359 are following me. So it's about 10 times who I want to consume their content, 10 times that amount of people want to consume my content.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and so when you're evaluating an influencer, if you're a brand and you want to market and you want to use Twitter as a platform, you need to really check out that ratio. If that ratio is
Okay.
whack, like that's a no touch. That's somebody who looks famous on the surface, but
Right.
here's what I know. If somebody's following, man, almost more than 1,000 people, then that's a tough ask, because so much is happening on social media and so much in real time that you'll never see that content. If you're following above 1,000 people, like even just as a fan, as a person, like
Okay.
don't follow more. You need to go through and you just, am I receiving value? If I'm not, you need to remove them from your feed, because you're
Right.
missing out on information you actually want. Like when something happens in real time in the world, people go to Twitter. Nobody goes to Instagram to talk about um um
Current events.
DK Metcalf. Did you see DK Metcalf's
No.
saved a pick six? So, and the reason I know how about these spectacular things is that a Twitter blew up, and people were
Oh.
doing memes of like, Russell Wilson threw an interception in the red zone, basically in the end zone.
Okay.
Dude, and you know what happens. You're that deep in, there's nobody back.
Yeah.
So
Right.
as a defensive guy, if you grab that ball and you make it past the few guys that are on the offense, you're
It's
done, man.
golden. Yeah. You just go. Yep.
DK Metcalf ran 114 yards at 22 and a half miles an hour and hauled his down at the 6-yard line and
Wow.
saved a touchdown.
Oh my gosh.
And so Twitter exploded. The memes were great. People were all, there's a one where it shows the receipt, like the guy, the defensive back for the opposite team, and it's like what he sees when he looks over his shoulder, and instead of DK, they have like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because
Oh
DK
my gosh.
is amazing, and all of that beauty was brought to us by Twitter, because Twitter it's a place where it didn't matter what you look like or who you were. Like Instagram is very much, if you're ugly, you're not on Instagram. Like, let's be honest, it's a
Oh
virtual,
my gosh. Yeah,
visually
we
driven platform.
right. It's a if you don't have the aesthetics, I mean, even in just like as a business, if you're not good at making things look pretty, Instagram's a hard place to thrive. Yes, yeah,
I
I've
I
noticed
have
that.
several times. So we have, I have a few people that I have mentored, and
Okay.
periodically I will have to get on the phone with them and be like, I'm deleting your posts, and I don't want you to take it personally. It's just that your post sucks.
Yeah.
And
Do our posts suck? Uh-oh. You're pulling up our posts and you're like, actually, I have
no,
a
I'm
post
gonna
to
I'm
tell
gonna
you.
show you somebody. Amanda Gish is a guest that we've had
Yes.
on the program. Okay,
Yep.
and I'm gonna show you. Can I screen share? Oh, sad. Okay. I don't. You guys are gonna have to tell me if it translates.
I
But
can kind of see her. It's a
uh,
little pixely. Yeah, click on a
oh well. So the reason I'm showing you the feed and not post in general is because you'll see the color changes in her feed from green, and then we went to yellow, and then
Oh, I see what yeah. There's
see,
like this. And then now it's blue.
now it's
Yes.
blue. So she's so good at Instagram that she has intentionally picked a color, and then everything she posts for that time period is in that color scheme.
Wow.
It's so, yes, and it does things to your mind that you don't know because your brain is communicating. This Instagram is communicating to your brain that everything that it's seeing is appealing.
Right.
And it's doing so because of the color aesthetic. So she will pick a background, pick an outfit, pick a pose, right?
So
And
that's
it's
so that takes like a lot of
yep,
thought. I mean that's way more planning than just sending out a tweet, sending out right like in Twitter, it's more fast paced, at least from my perspective. It's like when you post, it's there, and then if it doesn't gain traction quickly, it's kind of just done.
it's irrelevant.
And
Yep.
right, so then, how do you, with that kind of
How
a
fast it
difference
goes.
between the platforms? How do you? I mean, how do you start on each platform? Like, how would you start your Twitter? Did you start from scratch? Did you have like?
From zero. So,
Wow.
so both Twitters were started from zero. We've never done any sort of paid growth when it comes to Twitter and Instagram. And so
Wow.
what I did was I have a motto in terms of becoming something is that you find somebody who's doing what you want to do well, and then you study how they did it. And
Okay.
if you're really intentional and up your game, then you're going to get yourself in a position to ask them how they did it face to face. And so whether it's a
Okay.
conference, so when I started at Emma Financial and I was in the world, I watched CNBC and I was like, I bet these people are available off camera. I bet I can find them in America. And I would drive all night long to
Wow.
a conference in Florida, a conference in Chicago, a conference in New York. I'd figure out where to park my car in downtown Chicago. I'd figure out and I'd show up at these conferences, and then I had studied what they were doing. I would read the books
Wow.
that they wrote, and so then
Yeah.
I would ask intelligent questions when I met them in person, and they go, "That guy's not a dumbass." Who'd you say you were? Oh, at MO Financial on Twitter. You're MO Financial. Oh man, good to
That's
meet you.
awesome.
I know who you are. I see your blah blah blah. And
So
the next
it was kind of a foot in the, like, you got your foot in the door a little bit as soon as they made the connection with your Twitter, that they were like, "Oh, I know who you are already."
And I'll tell
Wow.
you what, the same thing happens when fans come on Color World Live and they have done a great job with their Twitter. Instantly, the person will be like, "Oh, I'm so happy to put a name to a face."
Yeah.
Dozens of times this year, fans
Wow.
have met people that they really admire in the anime industry, and they do a great job on Twitter bringing positivity. So the secret sauce. I know you guys are huge about spilling your secret sauce. So
Yeah.
one
The
of the
secret
biggest
sauce.
spills on secret sauce is your job when you're nobody is to make everybody else look good.
Okay.
When you
Yeah.
don't exist, so like in for instance, Zova marketing, what you would do with Twitter is you would go find huge brands that are unbelievable at marketing and
Yeah.
you would watch them. You just watch. And when they do something spectacular, and you know it as a marketer, you know it's spectacular, you're gonna
Yep.
quote tweet it, and then you're gonna put your spin on it. You're gonna say why you think it's spectacular, and then you're gonna at mention them, and then you're gonna send. And
Okay.
you're gonna just watch all these brands. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna begin to put yourself on the same level as all these other brands. And when other brands feel like, yeah, Zova's a competitor, but I kind of feel like if all my competitors were as cool as Zova, the world would be a better place. And so then
Yeah.
you'll start to see the follow backs.
Wow.
And when those follow backs come in, that's when you're emboldened, okay? And then you just look for opportunities with people that are participating with you. You'll see fans will get on Instagram and they'll take a picture of a bunch of words and then they'll post that.
Mm,
I once had a client that was
I don't
like,
like that. I don't like that.
I wanna put the date of the event and the time of the event, and I was like, "Whoa, that's not how
Right.
Instagram works."
Yeah.
come up with a beautiful image that stops someone from scrolling on their feed, and they'll stop to read.
Right.
But if your image sucks, people are just
they just keep scrolling.
They're
And the
gonna
more words there are, the more wordy things
Wait.
become, then they just keep going.
Wait,
And
now
that's
you
actually, we had a Sierra Fox who is who works at Zova. She said, great point, by the way, about Twitter being the most authentic platform. She said that it's a great platform to get to know someone on a deeper level. She actually knows Twitter a little bit more than me, actually a bit more than me. And so, but yeah, great point, Sierra. Yeah. And if any of our other viewers have any questions or comments while we're going through, I'll kind of like moderate and be going through.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Thanks for watching, Sierra. Nice to see you. So yeah, I mean, that I think is really, really important, because I also see people cheat where they literally will take the same exact post that they posted on Facebook and they'll try and just copy paste to Twitter, copy paste to Instagram. And I know that is kind of a route to go for getting it on all the platforms, but they don't take time to change the image. They don't take time to make it the correct aspect ratio, and they don't take the time to put in the correct hashtags on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, so
what is, dive in here with me.
So let's talk about pushing. I can tell if somebody's a fake right off the bat. If you suck at Twitter and you're pushing from another platform, I know it. It used to be a little harder to figure it out. It's
Right.
now very easy because it is you no longer can essentially push to Twitter from anywhere. I don't know if you knew that, but
I did not.
So just
actually.
in the past 2 months, I want to say 2 months, it now says this person posted a picture on Instagram. That's it.
Wow.
That's the tweet. Posted a picture on Instagram. So you used to be able to do some pushing. I love pushing Instagram to Facebook. They're owned by the same company, so of course it works.
Right.
It is a 2-for-1 kill shot. I do love that. It's a time saver as a marketing person,
Right.
to be able to push from Instagram. I'll tell you this. The platform I suck the most at is Tumblr. So if there's anything harder than Twitter, it's Tumblr. And it's because while a broad diversity of people are on Twitter, a broad diversity of industries and entertainment sectors and sports and news, all that stuff, there's a particular audience that's on Tumblr, and they expect you to tumble as well as they do. And it's very different. Reblogging works very differently. It's not it is its own lingo. You really have to study something like Tumblr. And so I will push all day from Instagram to Tumblr. It works. I've gone and checked the Tumblr feed. We have people that are following us on Tumblr. I bet we have users that only consume our content on Tumblr.
Right.
And
that's
so
crazy.
I will try to periodically go in there.
We don't even touch Tumblr, honestly. I've never even, I don't think I have even ever gone to that site or app or any. I've never even
really?
Never even sniffed it. Yeah.
Well, with a mustache that big, I don't know how you could smell anything.
I know, this is my Halloween costume. I actually made this when I was in high school. So let's see. Oh.
What's on the backside? The backside looks. Is there a design or is that
no? It's just it's literally cardboard that I put some felt on.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then so I made this in. And what's cool is when I was going through the hallways, I could just because if I was gonna bump into someone, so it's
I love it.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Is it like a neck? Is there a strap to hang?
Yeah, there's a strap that I made. Yep, there's a strap. Yep. My head's gotten a lot bigger, I guess, since since I used it. So yeah, it's been I haven't worn it in a while. Last year I tried to get it over my head and it got stuck. So
I believe in your ability to get that giant mustache.
It was great. Okay, so with everything going on with how you're cross posting to Instagram and Facebook at the same time, and you're on all of these platforms, how do you have the time? like to post everything? What are your secrets to posting that many times a day on the platforms? I know that you're cross posting on some, but
Yeah, it's because where you win is authentically interacting with fans. And so like
okay.
we won't throw an event unless I've watched the anime.
Okay.
Um it just everybody can tell. You can smell it. Like
You can smell. Does it smell? Let me ask you. Does it smell like
smells like
orange and spice?
an opinion, and we know what opinions spell like. Opinions are like rear ends, right? Everybody has one, and they all stink. So when we try to throw an event, we don't know what we're talking about. You can smell it from a mile away.
Right.
And so the secret to posting is just being committed to it. If you don't
Okay.
see Twitter as like I always get a chuckle every now and then. I'll remind you that Twitter exists, and I'll be like, hey, we need to do some ads on Twitter, and you're like,
Right.
yeah. And I know it's because that's not your bread and butter. I know that's your kryptonite, and so
Yeah. Twitter
uh,
is crippling.
well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Look,
Right.
we're
Well, so do you not use any schedulers at all
okay.
for?
So there, Buffer's great.
Okay.
Uh,
Buffer. Okay.
so bufferapp.com is a really great tool for scheduling social media content, and they've gotten even better than they used to be. And so
Okay.
um, you used to have some platforms that you couldn't use Buffer to schedule.
Oh. Okay.
It wouldn't push well to that
Right.
platform. But they fixed it, and if you do a good
Oh
job and you
wow.
understand each platform, you can manage a Twitter. You can go in there and do your stuff for the week for Twitter, for Facebook.
Okay.
They've even added Pinterest, and then there's another
Do they
platform.
do Instagram? That's
Oh
I know
yeah,
they didn't for a while
well
because
it's in
Instagram
there
was
now.
like,
It's in there.
okay.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
because you have to keep in mind, all of these social medias live and die by advertising. And so if Twitter isn't getting ad dollars, if Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, everybody lives and dies by the ad. And so
Right.
it behooved social media platforms to kind of work with Buffer in a way, in an authentic way. Because initially, social media platforms are like, we don't want you on here if you don't know what you're doing. Like,
Right.
we don't need another voice saying stuff that nobody's listening to. You're just taking up bandwidth.
Right.
So
That
what
makes
they
sense.
needed was for people to know how to do it. And once Buffer got together with these social media platforms, and they're saying like, look, here's the way to help your people that are paying for your scheduling service to be helpful.
Right.
uh, right? And so once they did that, then they were able to add Pinterest, they were able to add Instagram, stuff like that.
So so let me ask you this. With Buffer, obviously you've dumped a lot of secret sauce on us and our fans today. Like this is some straight gold.
We should have charged for this.
I know.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so since we're coming up to the 30 minutes here. What if you could give me the three best practices, things people have to be doing on Twitter, like
Okay.
best practices, and then the three worst practices, the things that if you do this, like you're
You
kicked
might as
out.
well just
Like
delete your account. Okay.
right.
All right. So number one is you have to answer every single notification. I actually walked
Okay.
away from a client um, that wanted us to develop a brand because when I asked them about social media, the answer was, "Oh, I don't respond to mentions."
Oh, that's why it's called social media. Social.
Um, I can't work with that. I
Yeah.
can't. Somebody who isn't interested. Look, if you're not interested in interacting with your fans, don't be on social. Like there are
Right.
famous people that literally don't have accounts. So you should do that. If all
Right.
your so number one is you have to answer every mention, and I don't care how trivial it is. If
Wow.
somebody says the only thing that I'll completely blatantly ignore is if somebody comments on someone's appearance. When I see that guest is beautiful, when I see that actress is beautiful, when I see that I completely ignore because they're famous because they're good at what they do, not because
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty.
Right.
So if you're talking about a model, that's one thing. They have to look pretty for their and I guess talk about but there's still more to modeling than your looks.
Right.
So answer every notification. Um, don't only advertise to people. If your feed is nothing except advertisements for people to buy your stuff and to might as well just delete it. And the number 3 thing that you have to do if you want to grow your Twitter, here is the biggest secret of the whole flippity day.
Woo! Secret
Go
sauce.
find people that are so much bigger than you that you want to be like, and you need to study what they're doing and find authentic ways to interact. I guarantee you can earn a follow from somebody that is tremendously bigger than you are if you will put in the homework and post great content, be complimentary, know what you're talking about, and be respectful. If you do that and you interact with those people that you like, there's some people you need that when somebody checks who's following you, they need to be there. So MO Financial, Jim Cramer is following me. Pete Najarian is following me.
Oh, wow.
Guy Adami is following me. John Najarian, Steve Grasso. Those people are following me.
Wow.
So that tells you that's the who's who in the finance industry. And every now and then I'll call those guys up and be like, I have a business idea. Let me tell you what I'm working on.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and you can do that
awesome.
if you do those 4 things, right? If you're authentic, if you do your homework, if you're complimentary, and if you're respectful, you can get into disagreements.
Yeah.
No name calling, only sharing facts, always cite your source. Just basic what they told you in English class.
Wow. Well, we had a lot more stuff that we could have talked about. So we're gonna have you another. We've got to have you another time, Brad. Because we're getting kind of toward the end here. Is there any last one quick thing that you're like, this is so important that it'll blow your socks off? Or if you want to plug the show coming up this.
Everybody should go to tixter.com/promoter/colorworld and then pick a guest. And look, it's 2020. The coronavirus is the new cold. It's not polio. It's not curable. It's like the flu shot's a roulette wheel. They just spin the wheel and they pick 3 strains of the flu out of the 168. Wear your mask, vote in the election. Stop whining.
Go to Color World and buy a ticket.
I'd rather you vote. If I'm gonna propel you to one action, I'd rather you vote. But I do think
go to Color World and have a good time. Okay.
Meet some really cool people. Hang out with somebody. It's not getting any better. Coronavirus cases are through the roof. They're more than they ever were before. So find somebody you want to meet and come hang out with us and chill.
From your house.
From your house. With no lines, no waiting in line. Get your favorite tea time. Put that stuff in there. Wait till it cools down a little bit, unless you're Aaron, and then just have a good freaking time, man.
Perfect. Well,
Thanks,
Brad, thank you so much for being on the show. We love you. We will see you on another show when we have Twitter 2. Marketing Tip Tea Time at 222, Twitter number 2. And so how's your tea? Did you drink any?
No, I'm actually fasting. We're doing Ramadan right now.
Okay.
Some
cool.
Stuff,
but you showed the tea, and that's what counts.
I almost made it through without you asking. I can't fake it. But in honor of you, I'm gonna, as soon as the sun goes down, I'm gonna light it up. I'm gonna put some hot tea. I'm gonna put some ice cubes in it, and I'm gonna drink my warm herbal tea.
Okay. Well, thank you once again, Brad. We appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys are great.
And thank you, everyone who joined us for Marketing Tip Tea Time at 222 with Brad Kelly from Color World, talking about Twitter and how to rock it. We are here. I'm here with my tea. We will see you next week on Friday at 222. And until then, Nostravi. Clink.